This is Switzerland, the land of peace and chocolates. And it's also landlocked, so you might think they have nothing to do with water-related activities. But if you know me already, I'm always here to surprise you. Switzerland, a country without its own sea access, is the largest container ship nation in the world. There are 151 countries with access to open waters, yet Switzerland is the largest despite being landlocked. In this video, I'm going to talk about landlocked countries that use their own ways to do sea trade. This video's idea was suggested by Bear Edits. I will put the link to his channel in the description. First thing first, let's talk about Switzerland. As I already mentioned, despite being landlocked, it's the largest container ship nation in the world. But how exactly does Switzerland get access to open waters? Well, if you look at the map of Europe's major rivers, you will see that rivers like the Rhine and the Danube give landlocked countries an opportunity to sail and access open waters. I'll talk about the Danube later in the video, but for now, let's focus on the Rhine. The main landlocked country that uses the Rhine to access open waters is Switzerland. But Switzerland's status as the largest container ship nation is not directly linked to shipping through the Rhine. While the Rhine does play a role in Swiss inland freight transport, but this accounts for only a small portion of Switzerland's overall shipping activity. So then, how did Switzerland earn this position? Well, it's all thanks to one company, the Mediterranean Shipping Company, also known as MSC. MSC, based in Geneva, owns the largest fleet of container ships globally. They have been buying up ships like crazy, including German vessels, and even investing in port logistics like Hamburg's HHLA. Long story short, a landlocked country is a sea power, and the moral of the story is not to underestimate Switzerland. Wait, I wanna borrow 10 seconds of your time. Follow me. This is my silver play button, which of course is not the real one, but if you enjoyed this video so far, please subscribe to my channel and help me get the real bad boy faster. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Okay, we are almost done with the Rhine if you don't consider Liechtenstein, because although Liechtenstein also has access to the Rhine, but they don't really use it, and they just accepted their fate to be landlocked. Now it's time to talk about the Danube. Apparently, this river is more efficient than the Rhine because it helps more countries to access open waters, like Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Serbia, and Moldova. But not only landlocked countries use it, but countries like Germany, Bulgaria, and Romania use this river for freight transport. Also, Serbia and Hungary both have full naval forces despite being landlocked, which I forgot to mention in my video about landlocked countries having a navy. Okay, we're done with the Danube, but before going to Africa as our next destination, let's pay a short visit to Southeast Asia, where you can hardly find a landlocked country because most nations here easily have access to open waters. However, there is one unlucky country, Laos, which despite being landlocked uses the Mekong River to reach open waters. This river also serves as the border between Laos and Thailand. Okay, now let's head to Africa. But first, let's check the world rivers map again. As you can see, there are not many rivers here, especially in the northern part of the continent where the Great Sahara is located. And landlocked countries like Chad rely on overland routes through neighboring states to access ports. But I want to talk about landlocked countries that have access to Africa's major rivers to reach open waters. However, the situation in Africa is different from what we have seen elsewhere. Unlike Europe's Danube or Asia's Mekong, no African river reliably connects landlocked countries to oceans due to geographical and political challenges. Let's start with the most famous one, the Nile, the longest river in the world, which is vital for Egypt because 95% of Egyptians live along it. But for Ethiopia, they don't really use this river for maritime access. Instead, they are dependent on Djibouti ports, and they only use the Nile primarily for hydropower by building dams, which is a major concern for Egypt. This is another topic for another video, but if you would like me to cover it, feel free to ask. As I told you earlier, Africa's rivers aren't quite suitable as direct routes to open waters. For example, the Niger River in the west of Africa passes through Mali and Niger and then reaches the Atlantic Ocean through Nigeria. But Mali and Niger can't use this river for sea trade because the Niger River isn't deep or stable enough for large ships, and they also lack ports and infrastructure to connect through Nigeria's section to the Atlantic. So instead they use their neighbors' seaports. Similarly, the Zambezi River follows the same pattern for Zambia and Botswana. Neither country directly uses the Zambezi for maritime access, as it flows into the Indian Ocean via Mozambique. Instead, they rely on agreements with coastal nations. As I mentioned at the beginning, the idea of this video was suggested by Bear Edits. I would love for you to suggest video ideas in the comments section. If there is something you would like me to explore further, just let me know, and I will credit you in the video. Also, here are the best comments from last week's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, best wishes to you. See you again soon.